only one of the three of us that has anything to talk about related to trooping. So let's
Okay,
do troop time.
let's hear. Let me. Where's my troop time?
Troop time.
All right, welcome everyone on YouTube. I don't see anyone yet. I don't see any chats yet. So, I am Mike from I don't know what I'm from TikTok, and I'm here with Ken from Forces Behind Star Wars and John, the founder of the Beskar Bucket.
That's me.
All right, John, give us some troop time.
Well, over the weekend was GalaxyCon in Columbus, Ohio, and woof, biggest con I've been to for one.
Nice.
But the Ohio Garrison has officially inducted Rosario Dawson as an honorary member of the 501st.
Ah, you bastards got her first.
Yes, we did.
That is awesome. Did you get to meet her?
So, I didn't. She came by the booth on Sunday, and I was only there on Saturday. So I was really disappointed.
You're a fake fan.
But I got cropped out of the only PR picture I was in.
Who'd you piss off?
I don't even know, because like I'm pretty tight with the two people that do PR.
I want the Charlie Brown music
Not
playing.
tight enough.
I want the Charlie Brown music playing, and you walking with your head down, carrying your bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent a picture on our group chat. I'm like, what? Was I too much of a moody teenager to make it into the PR pictures? What happened?
Well, besides a few people, I feel like cell phone cameras and all that have made many of us sloppy photographers. Like when it comes to that. So, well, but that's so. What else? Was there a lot of people, a lot of troops there?
Oh my God, there were so many people. Toga made an appearance.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
was very surprised because like I was getting into Columbus when he like popped in the group chat. I'm like,
Toga,
what?
I know him.
Toga. And so yeah, I really didn't take any pictures. I think I took 2 pictures, and that was it. The rest of the day I was just in my kit and milling about and just kind of enjoying the con, because like I didn't sign up for like a shift.
Yeah,
because it was one of those things where it's like I decided on Sunday that I was going to go the following Saturday.
Yeah,
so I was just kind of there helping out, taking pictures as needed.
Nice. Well, I tell you, the photography people are the unsung heroes, because it seems like lately a lot of the places drop the ball in getting pictures taken.
Mm-hmm.
So was Tim O'Sullivan there?
I didn't see him.
Okay,
but yeah, we had a lot of people. We saw someone from the Puerto Rico garrison was there.
Nice.
So not in costume. He was just he lives in Indiana for a little bit now. At least that's what he was saying. So
that's cool. And look, you got your shirt on.
I know. I feel so official now. It's got my name and everything on it.
Nice. What's the back? Is it just your logo of the?
Yeah, just nice. The Ohio Garrison, and then of course the Death Star on the sides.
Nice.
Yeah, and then good old Burning River on the left sleeve, and then the 501st on the right.
I like the pull handles on the racing shirts too.
Mm-hmm.
It just adds that extra.
Yeah, I think ours say Vader's Fist.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's nice to finally like feel like part of the group now. I've gotten my 5 troops in. I'm pretty proud that in not even 6 months I got 5 troops in.
That's good. I think my first year I needed like 2. My first year. So.
Yeah, my goal is to do at least one event a month.
That's
next month's going to be difficult because we don't really have anything on the schedule yet.
Yeah, well, it does seem like a lot of times with all the garrisons, it kind of rains, it pours kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone's dying to do it, and then it's like they want to do, everything. I have a troop this Sunday coming up.
Ooh.
A parade in Delaware. So we'll see. It's supposed to rain. I don't care. I saw people like bat. Well, it looks like it might rain. I'm like, I'm in a TK. What's it matter?
Right.
We'll clean it up a little bit.
Don't want to get rid of all that weathering.
No, I'm not doing my Sand Trooper. My TK is just that weathering. I've tried to get that weathering off. It's not coming off. My TK is starting to. I gotta do a whitening of it or get my other one done because I'm looking like a dead tooth sometime when I'm standing with a line. Dead Trooper. He's a Death Trooper. No, he's a Dead Tooth Trooper.
Dead Toother.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other Legion related news that I have is I finally made a trade, if you will. Even though I bought it because I don't have anything to trade.
Yeah.
If you're not already, Mike, there is a Facebook group that's like a trading outpost.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out.
I'll send you an invite.
I need one more thing to tie my money up.
Yeah, well, a lot of the guys don't like selling. Like they
okay.
like strictly want to trade.
Oh.
But I managed to get one of the small patches for the Golden Gate Garrison's 20th anniversary with Din Djarin on it.
Nice.
So
cool.
But yeah, so that's really all I've got for troop time.
Yeah, like I said, I got an upcoming troop, I think, and that's it. Other than my feed is filled with all of our stuff with Matt, so I've just been pumping some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
So.
Or I guess Steel City is this Saturday. I don't really count that as a troop, just because I'm kind of going.
Like I said, I can't. I tried to work it, and so I bailed and signed up for a parade on Sunday. So,
tis what it is.
I know. My Steel City feeds are showing up too. All my Steel City feeds, and that's kind of depressing. I'm gonna have to not be on the internet Friday just because I always get depressed on Fridays of Steel City because just seeing everyone arrive is always cool.
Yeah, my dad and I are originally going to do Friday, Saturday. Yeah. But when you guys said you weren't going to be able to make it, I was like, hey, let's just do Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's just go for a day. You can walk around in costume for the first time.
That's worth the video and pictures right there.
Get pictures, man. Yeah. Get pictures.
I'm tempted just to go in my racing shirt just so he can suck up the attention, but I don't think he'll be comfortable if he's the only one of us in costume.
Yeah, well,
he may surprise you.
Yeah. True.
I mean, the fact that he's wearing a costume and not alone is a big surprise.
Yeah, I know.
Reach out to Zach. Zach Tyke, is it? Zach Tyke is the head of the Star Killer out there. He's a good guy.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. All the Star Killer people are good. They're, that's a good group of people. They're like the Ohio Light.
So. I don't know, man. I don't think anyone can give off the same energy as Ohio.
Yeah, you guys got it good. So, how about you, Ken? Any troops coming up or?
No, and I've kind of slowed down on looking because I'm in the process of kind of changing. Or being more involved in one clan than the other. So
yeah, that's cool.
One of the other challenges between troop time and costume corner and trying to get things built. I can't build something if I'm trooping, and I can't troop if I'm building.
Yeah, I understand.
So that's also a big challenge.
Well, I rewatched Book of Boba Fett, and now I'm back on a stand person kick again. I'm like, oh man, I really gotta get. I need a job that I can get paid and not have to go to work. That's what I figured out.
Well, if
only
this could be the side hustle.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't done anything. I have right now 2 chest plates for Din Djarin's Pinto printed. Chest plates are done. The lower ab plate is done. The forearm. For both. I'm printing everything in pairs. Here, well, you guys talk. I'll go grab a couple pieces.
So one of the funny things about GalaxyCon, John, is you know, just looking at Facebook and all the folks that randomly tag GalaxyCon, and there was a lot of people in Star Wars costumes.
Yeah, there was. I was kind of surprised, except for the only ones that didn't surprise me were the Ahsokas, because there was a lot of Ahsokas there for a reason. Because both Rosario Dawson and Ashley Eckstein were both there.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, yeah, it was it was definitely a very, I don't want to say hectic event, but it was like, I haven't been to a convention that was that busy. Because like Steel City, yeah, it's Mike and I always say it's got the big con, the big con aesthetic, but the small con feel, or vice versa.
Gotcha.
But like GalaxyCon was just it was the biggest convention in Ohio.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I think 20,000 people was the number being thrown around.
One of the other things too related to these conventions nowadays, with 3D printing, with the work that people do with EVA foam and stuff, a lot of folks will just make their costume without necessarily joining a formal costuming group, and their stuff can be just as amazing as everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And that was done on a really slow.
Yeah, this is a 3-day print, and it's pretty. Other than that line here is just it's like a tail mark of my printer. No matter what I print, it puts that stupid line in it.
You can fix that very easily.
What is it?
So
Kick it.
I got it. Hang on. Let me get something open in Cura. But there is a specific setting that if you can set to where, because that's where your nozzle starts on your next layer.
Oh, okay.
Because I had that same problem, and it was really annoying when I would print helmets and just write down the left eye.
Yeah.
You can change it to whatever the orientation is.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so this is the chest piece, and I printed it a little heavier than I normally do. It's pretty. It's not heavy, but this was a 3-day print. But this is $2.75 worth of filament.
I don't know if I have that many quarters.
Not bad.
And then here's the whatever plate, and then the shoulder bell. Now the shoulder bell looks a little small, but I don't know. I was looking at the picture, and his kind is small too.
Yeah, they're snug.
Yeah, so I'm just printing everything, and then anything we have to go back through and adjust, we can. But again, just from doing Sabine, I know you have to be careful for making everything look like it's really big. But this was printed with no supports too. That's why it has all this fur. But this was printed like this with no supports.
Oh, cool.
So that's that. Then right now the back plate, I'm printing the black back plate one piece. Right up stand. That's a 3-day print. 2 days, 18 hours. Then this is the two tops of the gauntlets, and these are nice. These are the ones I like these better than because they are small. They're not humongous. Like I don't feel like I'm wearing like 4-inch PVC pipe on my arm, like I do with my. And then this, so I printed the one with the open screen, and I printed a fake screen and an open bezel. So you can decide what you want, either one. I printed all the greeblies for it. And then this one, I didn't take the supports out yet. This one here, there's that little, the calculator pad that goes on. I printed that in solid plastic and Ninja Flex rubber. So if you decide you want one that you can actually push the little buttons, you can actually push the buttons on it. So the backs of these are printing now. These are a 12 or 13-hour print. These I just printed straight up like that with very little supports. And these they came out okay. I think there was a little wobbling on this one, but it again, this is an easy print. And then this these are just placeholders right here because I'm going to print these in pieces. But this is the belt. I printed two of these. These things go on a belt, for these.
The grav charges.
So I haven't decided. I looked at the multi-piece ones, which I think I'm going to mold to make them. I'd like to make them so they light up. But what I'm thinking of doing, I was looking at some of the LED lights from, them little cheap flashlights you can buy at the Dollar Tree.
Yep.
Like they're, I'm debating on if I could somehow make a device when stick these in not with a magnet. Somehow make these stay in here without a magnet, but put a magnet on the inside, so when you stick this up against something metal, the magnet pulls the contacts back and lights it up. That's my thoughts, but it might just come down to where it just might be a push button LED where you push it and it lights up.
Mhm.
But I just printed these as just because I have nothing to print on my small printer right now. But these were printed on my Flash Forge. Even
Really?
the belt thing, it's like wedged in there. It's like just barely fitting. But and that's, I think I talked to you before. I bought these from Great Ape. And I also have ones from 3 Demon. The files were the same scale in Great Ape as they were 3 Demon, and they were the same name. So I'm not sure who's doing what files for whom. You know what I mean? Like all these guys get all worked up about their files, and I think some of these guys are just taking someone else's files and pawning them off as their own. You know, so. But that's my. I know we're still on troop time, but that's my costuming. That's been running, and I ordered a belt. I couldn't find a good belt for my Vader, so there was a guy that was he was working. He sells belts, and they were vegan leather Vader belts. So, and it has the hook on it for the lightsaber. And I think he wanted $34. I was like, oh, I might as well just get that, because I was going to pay $25 for a dress belt and then have to punch all kinds of holes in it and stuff. So, you know,
Nice find.
so we'll see when I get it. I just got a shipping thing. Zoe's helmet made it back. She mailed 16 packages home, so a bunch of them came today. Her helmet was, well, we had to, it was a cost analysis. We were like, okay, a new suitcase and the cost of carrying that on the plane is going to be X amount of dollars. How much does it cost to do this? So it was, I wouldn't say it was cheap, but it was a better way to ship some of the stuff.
And these kids these days say they don't use math.
I know. Yeah, well, and I didn't want her running through the airport with like 4 suitcases too. You know. So
right.
Let me know when you want to do another armor party, and I'll come up and start polishing those things up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm just going to run these through. I'll probably have most of the DIN stuff. I didn't really look at the leg files yet, but I wouldn't be surprised within 2 weeks I have all the DIN stuff, and then I got to look at the helmet. The helmet I'll probably. I don't know if anyone makes. I want to find someone that makes a file where the DIN helmet is split right down the middle, like this, and then you put that center piece on it, and that covers 90% of your. That's what I want. I want one that's split right down the middle. So, or if I can find one without the center thing on it, like if I can print a whole helmet without the center thing, and then print the center thing sideways, so the lines go with the grooves. That'd be an easier cleanup too. But that's first world problems if I'm worried about. Or like I said, I'll talk to Sean and see what he charges for a cast one.
Yeah, and I don't remember what the name of his shop is.
Yeah, I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I'll hit him up. He doesn't live far from me either, so I sent him work. So I sent him the work for Galactic that heavy metal band.
The band.
Yeah, because they wanted us to do it. We're like, no, but here, call him, and then I guess he got a pretty good job out of it. So
that's awesome.
I wish I could, but I knew it wouldn't. I couldn't do it. You know, if they would have asked me during COVID or the summer, if they would have asked me in May, I would have been all about it. But realistically, I'm not going to get to it.
You only got so many minutes.
Right. I did not see the Bad Batch trailer yet.
Oh,
I didn't see the all the lists of when things are coming out. Nothing. I barely got here in time to do this. I was just like, I'll try, because I can't get that at school. Like it's blocked, and my phone, I barely get service. If I'm sitting in the back corner of my room, I can get service. I don't put any of my stuff on the school network. So, because if I could have got it at school, my students would have watched it at the end of the day. So, because we have a long Wednesday where the kids have to stay an extra 20 minutes while we wait for buses, but school ends, but they have to stay in my room. So a lot of times I just show them a Star Wars video or something like that. So.
Even though it sucks.
Oh yeah, well that's 6th grade says it sucks.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's unfortunate because that was going to be my segue for the next costume I'm working on.
You could talk about it. I'll probably watch it in the car while I'm waiting for Zoe at the airport. So I don't mind talking about it.
Well, I think I've finally decided the next costume that I want to do.
All right, who is it?
It is Commander Cody. Commander Cody, but his Imperial armor.
Nice.
Because we see it. Granted, it's identical to his like clone trooper armor.
Yeah.
His phase 2 armor, but all the orange is grayed out.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why, but the look of it just like spoke to me where I'm like, that would be a fun costume.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think because I'm gonna wait until like the show comes out and like we see more of him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, realistically, like I'm not gonna have it done in 2 weeks. Right. But like if I wait and like I get everything printed and like start finishing everything, and then by that time when the show is out, I can then start fine tuning it. Maybe I'll be the CRL for it.
There you go. Yeah, you're thin enough too, because man, they had a hard time with those animated CRLs. They got some of the guys that were like my size, and it just does not look right. You know.
Yeah, no I'm looking at the phase 2 Cody CRL right now. I mean, he's pretty slender, but like he's not like
the main characters aren't bad. But if you start going further out to the less known characters, it's I still want to get my what's his face done. I just he's on back burner. I'm still tempted to take that Watchtower armor and make molds of some of those pieces and make it in rubber. Like that ab plate. That ab plate is a nightmare in the diaper. The ab plate in the diaper is now. Does Cody have? Does the new Cody have like any kind of camera or anything like that on him, or is he just straight up armor?
Nope. Just he's identical to what his phase 2 armor is, just in gray. Well, white and gray. Anything that was orange is now gray.
Yeah, that's cool.
So as much surprised by the trailer, Mike.
Huh?
Yeah,
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by the trailer.
Good.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait. I don't. Oh, Ken, we got to talk about your wedding, the wedding article.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So I've got some words on paper, but I don't feel all that great about it at this moment, and I still have to find out from either Lucia or from her bridesmaid that wrangled us into the whole idea of the wedding. Find out some of the bits, like did they have Star Wars mentions in their vows and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, see, I also think I think your premise of crashing a wedding, that's what it should be. Like it should start out with talking about Star Wars weddings, and then you should put us down as Star Wars wedding crashers.
Well, do you want to hear what I have written so far?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not polished. Where is it? So this is just some of the notes that I took. So weddings are events in which two people profess their love and commitment to each other in front of family and friends. Weddings are designed to be special and memorable. Themed weddings kick things up a notch, and Star Wars weddings are out of this world. When Lucia and Christian planned their Star Wars themed wedding, they did not know just how special it would be, thanks to 2 of her sneaky bridesmaids and a cosplaying co-worker. They put a lot of thought and details into their wedding, and that's where I was going to put in some of their parts.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that I do know, there were special Star Wars drinks on the menu. The seating arrangements were organized into squadrons. The centerpieces at each table were of Lego creations. The photo booth included a green screen and several backdrops from a galaxy far, far away to pose in front of. And even the wedding cake was decorated with colorful fondant in the shapes of Jedi and Empire logos and Boba Fett's famous T-visor. After dinner was served, the DJ announced that he sensed a positive feeling in the Force, and the doors to the dining room were open to a parade that was made up of Jaina Solo, a TK stormtrooper, a biker scout, 2 custom Mandalorian bounty hunters, and Chewbacca. This Star Wars themed wedding was being crashed.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
The surprised looks and excited cheers by Lucia and Christian said it all. Neither of them expected their special day to be crashed by characters from a galaxy far, far away, and they were very much okay with it. The crew posed for lots of pictures with the partygoers, the event staff, and even the photography team. When it was time to cut that beautiful cake, the newlyweds even asked the Star Wars crew to get involved. There were even some moments where that walking carpet cut a rug out on the dance floor for everyone to see. And that's all I have so far.
That's good. You got it, man.
And what's funny is I had sent everyone that had crashed the wedding with me. I sent you all that note, and that day I had bumped into Lucia at work. I was just kind of walking through the emergency department, and she stopped what she was doing. She wasn't working with a patient, thankfully. She was just, doing stuff at the documentation station. She stopped what she was doing. She ran over to me, and I just said, "Hey, it's good to see you." She's like, "Oh, no, we don't do that." And she gives me this giant hug in the middle of the hallway. She's like, "You have no idea how much it meant to me and the family for you guys to be there."
Yeah, that's awesome. That has to be in my top 5 troops, I think, even though it wasn't an official troop. That because everyone was just happier than the next, So.
Yeah, it's probably there the top 1 for me.
Yeah, it was. Well, and then it goes back to our many discussions on charity. Like if we get not we, us 3, but as a group, sometimes these groups get so tied up with this number after a dollar bill sign, or how much did we write this? Like they get so excited about handing out that big check, and those people that we were making have a good time, from kids, from her son who got to help hide the surprise, all the way up to grandparents alike that were getting pictures with us, and I'm sure John saw that at the con too. Like cons, I still, and maybe it's because I took my kids to a lot of cons. What we do at cons, I don't think can be overstated, in the sense that parents, if you can give them a little joy for their kids, it doesn't cost them money. That's a win-win for everybody.
Yep. And I think I've been to enough events, I've trooped enough events, enough conventions to have heard over and over and over again how much does it cost to get a picture with you guys. And when you tell them nothing,
right,
you can see their jaw practically drop to the floor. What do you mean? You got, because usually within 15 feet of wherever we are, there's one of those internet famous costumers who's selling 8x10s of their stuff for $30. Or the celebrities who are asking $100 or more for an autograph and stuff, and we're saying, hey, well, you can have an individual picture with everybody that's here, and it'll cost you $0.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do you one better. We were pretty separated from like the famous people and the celebrities and the internet folks. Like we were GalaxyCon, they rented out 3 of the 4 halls. The celebrities were in hall number 4. We were in hall number 2. Like, I mean, we were thousands of feet away from each other. But I swear to God, right next to our booth, there was someone who had like a big Masters of the Universe display with like the big cats.
Oh yeah.
And they were charging $5 for a picture of them. You couldn't even be in it. $10 for a picture in front of them. $30 for a picture on one of them, and $50 for 2 people in the picture. And then 2 feet next to this display was us, where we had, a giant Hoth display with an E-Web and like dead rebel trooper, and people were like, "Oh, how much are pictures?" And we're like, "Free."
Yeah.
It's like we were all confused until like I walked around the corner and I'm like, "Oh, they're shocked because they're charging $50 for people to be in these pictures."
Yeah.
And then like I was working the table a little bit, and because like we had like cards, patches, stickers, everything on the table, and people were like, how much are the patches? Or I'm like, they're free, have at it. And we had a donation bucket right next to us because we were collecting for the National Children's Hospital at GalaxyCon.
Yeah.
And like they're free if you feel so inclined. You're not obligated. If you could toss maybe a buck or two in the bucket, we would appreciate it. But everything is technically free. So we I think we raised like $1,000.
Yeah.
This weekend. So
yeah, it's just funny. Like when you and I were there in Philly, and there was those cosplay people that still blow my mind. The one woman had pictures of herself in Star Wars costumes, and she charges people money for that. You know what I mean? I don't understand.
Well, I think because I think there's a variety of reasons why that happens. I do find it interesting when they put those groups so close together, because I think it does confuse the tourists that come through. Like, wait a minute, so that dude over there dressed like a Mandalorian wants me to give him $20 to pose with him, but those 6 people over there dressed like Mandalorians want me to give them nothing to pose with them.
I know.
How do those two things match up?
Yeah, that's just weird.
And I think for me, the other thing that's interesting about conventions, so you mentioned, sometimes the costumers get caught up in the dollar sign associated with the charity. How many dollars were raised? And then there are some costumers who get caught up in, how many pictures did I take? Did people take of me? Or how many people did I give my card to? Like, I didn't realize that everything had to be a contest.
Yeah, right. No, I agree. Yeah, that is weird. I mean, well, see, and Marty and I have had this discussion many times. And you get treated. I find that most people treat people how they think. Like I always think back in college, we used to have a table at the student rec center that we all hung out at in between classes. And we'd leave our bags there and run and get food and this and that. And we had one guy at our table that was paranoid that someone's going to steal our stuff. I mean, this was the days before cell phones and computers. We didn't have anything valuable anyway. But he later got fired from his job for stealing tips. And I always think back of that because he was the only one paranoid about stuff getting stolen. And he wound up being the thief in the group, And so these people like Marty and I would troop with people, and they would say these weird comments like about, oh, Marty just wants to hog all the glory because he's in Chewie. And I've known Marty forever, and Marty's not that way, but people want to see Chewie, And I always say to Marty, I say that those people say that because if they had a costume like yours, that's what they would do, I personally, I like being a stormtrooper. I don't care if one person gets a picture with me or 100 people get a picture with me, I just like being my stormtrooper. And I like anymore, like that time we were at Steel City with John and Safi and Marty and Toga, I had almost as much fun not being in costume as I did in costume, just taking pictures. I still laugh to this day that we picked up a Boba Fett along the way, Like, who are you? Just stay with us, Well,
it's funny that you even mentioned that, because I've been to some events where some of the folks who were official give the folks who aren't in the group, the riot act. Like, you can't be in this picture.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand. Okay, if this is a picture that we are submitting for troop recognition, this counts as our form. So that makes perfect sense. Right. But if there's a fan who wants a picture of everybody, then let the the whoever it is in their homemade costume get it, because that's what the fan wants. The fan wants all of you together.
Well, and we've said this before, and I came in at the end when you guys were talking about this, but the groups have to understand 20 years ago in 2007, so that's not quite 20 years, however, what is it, 15 years or however long I've been in. When I started looking in like 05, 06, you needed the groups to build, unless you were like some super artist and knew all these stuff, you needed the groups to build your costume. Because they were the only places you could find stuff and find people to make stuff reliably. You could buy it from some Joe Schmo, but you didn't know what you were getting. And you needed the groups. And then I think with I saw it start when a Novos came out. When Novos released that first wave of TK costumes, that's when I saw some of these elitist people get really worked up, because the average Joe could buy a costume as good as theirs and not have to know all the secret handshakes to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when 3D printing came along, we're not beholden. It's 3D printing is just another tool. Like some people are totally for it, some people are totally against it. It's just another tool in the arsenal of building stuff. Just like the EVA foam. I've seen EVA foam. I've seen EVA foam tie pilots that look just as good as vacuum form tie pilots. It's just one more tool in the toolbox, but I think it also has made us less beholden to 3 or 4 people that were making armor, so that's the plus side to it. Plus, I would have never really met John if he wouldn't have had a 3D printer.
True. That's very true.
And I wouldn't have met Ken if Zoe wouldn't have wanted to do Sabine, because I would have never got invited to the Mando Mercs.
As Ken always says, the Force works in mysterious ways.
The Force works in mysterious ways. It brings random weirdos together from all corners of the galaxy.
Our lovely Garrison, which we'll name unnamed, had to lock down the thread argument about if people should put their faces on the back of their cards. Like there was name calling and people bringing up stuff from the past, and it was like it had to be locked down by the captain of the guard. I'm like, really? This is over if you can.
So what was the argument?
Some people said that they don't think you should put your face on the back of the card. Some people said you should be able to put your face back on the card. Some people said it didn't really matter either way.
Shouldn't it be a personal preference?
Well, that's what I always thought. I just thought, like, if I was 20 some years old and looked like a really good looking 20 some year old, I'd probably put my face on the back. But you know what I mean? I'm an old school teacher. I'll stick with no face on the back. But yeah, there was all kinds of arguments, but even if they all made good points, it devolved into people just. I wish you guys were on our forums, because I know, like, if I discuss it, I'll get like whatever sanctioned or whatever.
Oh, you're gonna get suspended for 6 months.
Yeah, but
the charges brought up on you.
It was just it's just like, really, you just
See, and that's so weird, because I remember, I don't know if it was the last time we recorded, the one before that, where I got together with, I think it might have been the last one. Before we recorded with the forces behind Star Wars, I hung out with some people in, not too far from me, maybe an hour and a half away or whatever, and they were just getting together to make stuff. Yes, there's, you've got some of them that are in this costuming group and some of them that are in that other costuming group, and quite frankly, you wouldn't be able to tell who was in which if you were just stepping in to this medley of people. You wouldn't have been able to tell which person was in which group, because they were just all working together, laughing together, helping each other. I mean, at one point, we stopped all the work that we were doing so that we could order dinner so that we could all eat before everybody had to leave. Like, it was a conscious decision. Let's eat first, and whoever still wants to work on stuff can, and then whoever has to. So it was like, let's break bread. Like, let's pause this and just have and it was just a basic meal. I mean, it wasn't anything fancy. We ordered out, had it delivered, and we just sat there and hung out like And you would have thought that we'd all been friends for years, but it was the first time I had hung out with that group formally like that before. And it was so nice. So incredibly nice.
Yeah, well, that's how it used to always be. That's how it always was. When my kids were little, the one thing I used to always say to people, it was so nice to be able to take my kids somewhere on a weekend and they could see a guy fully tattoo artist was just as nice as a guy who was a police officer or a guy who was a doctor or a lawyer. And we would do our thing. Then we'd go eat. And when I first started, we do 2-hour troops and 6-hour eats afterwards. That's what you know what I mean? Like that's just like it was. And I know it's still that way in most places, but at least a lot of the stuff we deal with, it's just there's just I don't know. It's the cave on Empire. What you take in the cave is what dictates what happens. And if you're joining any of these groups, I don't care what group it is, if you're joining the group to fill a void, you can't fill a missing void. If you're doing it to enhance your life and make things better and all that kind of stuff, that's fine. But I used to think I did it to escape, and I didn't really do it to escape. I just did it to make my life better. You know, I mean, and I think some of these people don't have any power in their life. They feel helpless, whether it's their job, marriage, a combo of both. So they get a little bit of power in any of these groups. And it happens with every kind of group you have, whether it's a costuming group, whether it's a HOA, whatever. They overcompensate in those groups to make up for what's missing in their real life. That's my thoughts on it.
I joined to be the elite of the elite and put down anyone with a substandard costume.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And I wear an FX. I wear the substandard. I think there's only one other costume considered less standard than mine is the copy of the FX. You know,
the faux FX.
But yeah, it's weird because it's for all the good. I think sometimes because I love the group so much, the odd like that thing with the because I have one Marcus that did the movie with us. He just sends me messages. Did you see what's going on in this? And I'm like, no, because our forums in our garrison has become so toxic. It's not worth going, because every other time when you have a poll asking about cards and it's threatened to be shut down because of an argument, I'm like, oh man, I don't.
See, for me, one of I think one of my biggest flaws, one of my many big flaws, is that when I'm done with something, I'm just done. Like I will pick up my ball and I will simply go to another court. I will pick up my ball. I'll find other folks to play with. If this is not working out, that's fine. You can do what you guys and girls want to do. I'll go find someone else. Nope. I'm okay.
Well, in mine, I just try to make the best with the people I like. I got you guys. I got Marty. I got Dan, Marcus, and a couple other people, and I just troop with them when I can. Like I never want to be to the point where I don't troop because of certain people, but I also, I used to not be selective. If they needed help, I just go. They'd be like, "Hey, this is okay, I'll go. I'll just, last minute." And now I'm just like, yeah, you know what? You made that problem. If a garrison can't get people to show up, then the garrison is doing something wrong. The leadership, because it's like work. I have a boss now, my principal now, who I feel treats me with a lot of respect, and I think he treats all the staff that way. If he asked me to come and do something on a Saturday, I'd probably do it. Because he treats me every day with that respect, and it's the same with the garrisons. When everyone, it's not that we're all human beings that like to just be treated nicely, and most of
we're not in a place where we're really struggling to find events to go to anymore.
Right.
Because from what I understand historically, it wasn't like these conventions, these gatherings, whether it's a library event or a hospital event or a comic book convention or whatever, they're often they happen in, with a regular frequency, that there can be people at them.
Yep. Well, see, we have a group of people in ours that they just talk charity. That's all they talk. We're just about charity. They just, blah, 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 charity, charity, charity. But then they don't get us charity events. They'll book every con, which is fine. Nothing against it. But they'll book every con. But then we haven't had a hospital visit in Korea 5 years, maybe 6 years. We haven't had a hospital visit. I mean,
Really?
yeah. They just don't, because you have to do more than just send emails to these places. If you want to do a hospital visit, you have to call them, explain who you are, and build a rapport. And we've lost that in our group. I mean, it'll come back,
Well, I think with some of those events, your point, it takes efforts to initiate that, and it takes that trust for that that hospital to call you back again and again and again.
Yep.
Now I think some folks think it's the other way around. They should be knocking on our doors.
Yeah.
As costumers to come.
Yeah. We were told that the reason we don't have events is because the membership doesn't want it. But that's, again, it's not true. I just, and cons, it's like, I'm always happy. I think cons are great events for people, but I've never claimed, I didn't join, like, I loved that Karita and 501st is charity. And I wish I could say I joined it to do charity. I joined it because I wanted a Stormtrooper costume. If I'm completely honest. And the charity work is what kept me in it and made it even better. Mm-hmm. But when I was first looking to sign up, I could give two shits about doing, like I just wasn't thinking, I always thought of myself as a charitable person, but I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to spend all this time doing charity. That's not why I did it. But once I started doing it, it was great. But if I'm totally honest with people, I was not doing charity before I had a Star Wars costume. I wasn't doing charity. I could have, but I wasn't doing charity every weekend before I had a Star Wars costume.
Right.
So, like, I wish I could say that, but that's really not true. And I think some people forget that.
And I mean, like, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that.
No, but I'm saying, what's wrong with it if I would get in here and preach and preach to everyone? Yeah, I'm always about charity. We're a charity group. We're this and that, and we're really not. We're a costuming group that does charity,
right?
And that's it's a good. It's not bad for me. It makes me be more charitable. It also makes me have nicer costumes because it does help you have a justification of, well, I have a costuming budget,
Well, did you guys see what I shared on Facebook today?
No, I have not.
Let me read this to you because I've had a few comments from people I know personally recently that have made comments about costuming and all that. So I saw this and I shared it. It says, go ahead and tell me that what I do is stupid and childish. I call your ignorant remark and raise you a stormtrooper at a hospital. Special thanks to all those who give their time. That's the wrong version of there. To give their time to put smiles on so many faces. This is the way. And then it's...
Oh, yeah, I see it. I just see it now, yeah.
Yeah, it's... You get the gist. It's a stormtrooper walking through a hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we do. That's what it's all about.
Well, right, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's not... Right, it's not just because, we get to dress like Star Wars characters. Of course, that's a big part of it. However, like, the why is, we put smiles on so many people's faces.
Yeah.
We're able to go through, and Mike, you preach it every week. This might be the only time that some of these kids get to see a Stormtrooper, Kylo Ren, a Mandalorian, Darth Vader, whomever. It could be like the mechanical engineer that we had at that last library event.
Yeah.
It's the only time they're ever going to see someone from Star Wars in person.
Right, and that's why I don't want to belittle the charity. and again, I love being part of that charity, and I'm a believer in when you go to a con, you're doing charity. When you do that wedding we did, you couldn't have got more charitable. Those people were just so happy. My only gripe sometimes is people forget why they got in it and they rewrite their own history. I wish I could say, look, I was spending 16 hours a weekend doing charity and I saw this and I thought this would be a better fit. I wish I could say that, but I was doing no charity the weekends before. You know what I mean? And to your point, John, with that picture, it's hurtful when people, I know, because my one boss was the same way until he saw us in person. We did a library event. He would make not snide, but kind of like I was being an idiot doing these costuming events until they saw us in person. And I got so many photos of him grinning ear to ear with pictures with Darth Vader and Chewie and stuff like that, because they didn't know. They thought we were literally string masks, and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
It's interesting when folks spend their time casting judgment without fully understanding. I mean, how many activities do people participate in a weekly basis that somebody else would think is ridiculous or wasteful or unimportant?
Well, and most of our hobbies, unfortunately, are that way. No matter what hobby you have. Like when I in college, I ran a paintball field. So my life was 24/7 paintball. You would open my dishwasher and there'd be masks in it. There'd be different parts of paintball guns in it. Missy even went and played with me and got an article published in a paintball magazine. Like it was just like boom, boom, boom. But if you talk to someone that never played it, you kind of, like, we talk Star Wars here. We talk costuming here. My house is full. All of us have tons of Star Wars. We forget that some people know almost nothing about Star Wars. And in costuming. And in like sports, John follows sports. He's one of the few people I know. I know nothing about sports. But I never belittle someone for buying jerseys the way some people belittle us for buying helmets and stuff like that, And I know they're not cheap, because when they had like sports day at my girls' school, we went and bought. Sappy wanted an Eagles jersey, so we went to the Eagles store, and they had one McNabb jersey that was super cheap because I guess that McNabb was not liked by them. So the poor kid wore a McNabb jersey to the.
It's because he signed with Washington that year. I guarantee it.
I don't know. It was a $10. It was a $10 jersey. That's what caught my eye. Hey, $10 Eagles jersey. So
see, I get mine fake from China, so I can have more of them.
Misspelled Browns or something like that. Browns with
It's the Brines.
It's the Brines.
Cleveland Brines.
So
did you see Ark's good news?
Yeah, Ark got his figure. That's awesome. Well, I'm going up to Jordan Saturday, so I might maybe find some new toys.
Send pictures
that I don't have money for. But Zoe wants to go see him, and he offered.
Yeah, flash our stuff and get a picture with him.
Yeah, yeah. No, he'll be. Well, last time I just sat and hung out with him, and I just sat there and talked. So I want to play his Star Wars pinball machine. He has a vintage Star Wars pinball machine in his gallery. So
yeah, we're going into Philly probably for the Christmas Village.
Nice.
Gonna have a little date day.
Did you go to the Van Gogh exhibit?
We did one of them, yeah.
Okay, because we went that at the Tower Theater, I think it was, in Philly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we had a blast at that. We loved it.
Yeah, that was. I wish they would do John Williams.
Oh, that would be very
John
cool.
Williams music, where you could go in and see
the New Jersey. I think they've done it in New Jersey, and I think they have done it. I think they even did it at the Kimmel Center in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember when, but I know that has been done. The other thing that's coming out soon, I think it's February, at the Franklin Institute. They're doing a whole entire display of Disney history.
Oh, nice. That'll be cool.
So that'll be very fun to go to. So we think we should wrap up soon because you got to get on.
Yeah, I got to roll out of
pick
here.
Up the youngster.
But no, it's a good. it's a good week. Like I said, my printers are all dialed in, so they seem to be printing. You know, the thing with anyone that gets a 3D printer, when they're working fine, you love them. But man, there's some days when they don't work, you just kind of have to walk away from them, so you don't smash them into little pieces.
Well, you just use the other printer to make the pieces for the other one.
My goal is I got to sell off some stuff, and I'm buying a Jupiter resin. That's my that's the big. You can print almost an entire helmet. I watched John Rodriguez, and his stuff is so beautiful printing on that Jupiter with the water soluble stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, you still have a standing offer for one of your pieces.
Which one?
I'll take that. I'll take that clone armor off your hands if you really need to make some extra money for that printer.
I can't. My problem is with any of that armor until I get this one side done and see what I can put up for my armor. Because I started planning out my Vader dummy. I'm going to make a costume dummy to put my Vader costume on. And so I'm going to make, I'm like going to do duct tape molds of my legs and then fill it with spray foam. Mm-hmm. But then I was thinking, driving home today, wonder if I make the platform that he's laying on and display it in
the bed?
The bed where he's, and so then I wouldn't have to stand. I could just suit it up and tilt it back.
Why don't you just print out a mannequin?
Yeah, well, that spray foam would be cheaper.
It would be, but you can't pose them.
It wouldn't be posable.
Like you can
pose
a 3D mannequin.
I can pose them because I
are you gonna put wire aperture inside?
I duct tape my leg up, right? Cut it, put it back, hit it with spray foam. Once it seals, then I cut it at the knee, and I run PVC pipe through it, and then I can put a joint right at the knee.
So there's a YouTube channel called I Like to Make Stuff.
Yeah,
and he did an entire PVC mannequin, even to the point where he had wires in his hands that would actually hold the blaster.
Yeah, because so when we hang projectors in our ceilings at school, they come with a roll of, it looks like heavy electrical fence wire to hang it from the rafters. Our maintenance guys always just threw it in the trash so eventually they'll run a fall and hit someone in the head. So I took all that, because it was getting trash, and that's what you can make hands out of it. You just you can make bendy fingers and everything. So yeah, I've
one project at a time.
I just listen, the belt comes for Vader, so I have all the parts for Vader. Like it's just a matter of me just sitting down and getting them together. I got 3 more weeks of school, and then I have 10 days off. So, nice. And we're not really doing anything for Christmas, so hopefully if we get it seems like in December a lot of times we get a nice warm spell. If we get a nice warm spell, and I can get some painting done. So,
and I'll watch Zoe that we say hi.
Yeah, I will, and I'll watch I'll watch all the Star Wars stuff so we can get better Star Wars talk next time. But thanks for letting me read my Christmas cards. Just remember, according to my students, it says I'm getting cold. Okay.
And Star Wars sucks.
And Star Wars sucks, according to my students.
You need to scan those so they don't ever get lost.
Yeah, I thought of scanning and making a TikTok out of them.
There you go.
Just making it.
But then you wouldn't want the kids to feel bad that they gave.
Well, I don't care. If my students find me on TikTok, I delete them. So
okay,
no. Block
because they're not old enough to pass the being able to sign up because you have to be 13 or something like that. So
good point. Yeah. Well, I'm glad E-Girl and Ark were able to join us tonight too. It was good to see that.
Thank you. We had E-Girl and Ark, and sorry we gotta make it short, but I gotta go pick Zoe up. I got 11 minutes before I gotta leave. So
parenting calls.
Yeah.
Have a great night, guys.
Later, guys.
Gents.